10 Things Queen Elizabeth Did Every Single Day. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are stepping inside the most famous palace in the world and uncovering something truly fascinating: the daily habits and rituals of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Now, most of us have a morning routine. Maybe you make a coffee, scroll your phone, take a shower. But the Queen, her daily routine was something else entirely. Precise, disciplined, repeated every single day for over 70 years without fail. From the moment she woke up to the moment she went to sleep, every hour of her day followed a carefully structured pattern that never changed. Some of these habits will surprise you, some will inspire you, and some will make you realize just how extraordinary this woman truly was. Today we are counting down the top 10 things Queen Elizabeth did every single day, starting from number 10 all the way down to the one daily habit that defined her entire life. Let's get into it. Number 10. She woke up at 8:30 a.m. sharp. Kicking things off at number 10, the Queen woke up at exactly 8:30 a.m. every single morning. Now, you might expect the Queen to sleep in. After all, she had every luxury in the world at her fingertips. But no, 8:30 a.m. every day, like clockwork. Her morning began with a very specific ritual. A maid would draw her bath to an exact temperature, reportedly lukewarm, never too hot. The Queen was very particular about this. While the bath was being drawn, a BBC Radio 4 broadcast would play softly in the background. This was her way of staying connected to the world each morning, hearing the news, the weather, the day ahead. She didn't reach for a phone, she didn't scroll social media. She listened, calmly, quietly, and with complete intention. For a woman who carried the weight of an entire monarchy on her shoulders every single day, starting the morning with stillness and structure was not just a habit, it was a necessity. Number 9. She ate the same breakfast every morning. At number 9, the Queen ate the exact same breakfast every single day, without exception. Every morning, without fail, Queen Elizabeth sat down to a simple bowl of cereal, reportedly Special K, with a side of toast and marmalade, sometimes fresh fruit. Always Earl Grey tea poured to the exact right strength, with just a small splash of milk and no sugar. No eggs, no full English breakfast, no elaborate royal spread, just cereal, toast, tea, simple, consistent, purposeful. Royal insiders have confirmed that the Queen was a creature of habit at the breakfast table above all else. She found comfort in the familiar. In a life filled with constant change, new governments, new prime ministers, new world events, her breakfast was the one thing that never changed. There is actually a powerful lesson in that. When everything around you is unpredictable, having one constant, even something as small as breakfast, gives you a foundation of calm to start the day from. Number 8. She read every newspaper every morning. At number 8, every single morning the Queen sat down and read the newspapers cover to cover. Not one newspaper, multiple newspapers, every day. The daily papers were arranged neatly on her desk. The Times, the Daily Telegraph, the Racing Post. Yes, the Racing Post, because the Queen was a lifelong and passionate horse racing fan, and she read through all of them methodically. This was not casual reading. This was how she stayed informed, how she tracked politics, public sentiment, global events, and the stories shaping the world she was responsible for representing. She had no press secretary filtering what she saw. She wanted the real headlines, the real stories, unfiltered and direct. Think about that for a moment. In a world where most people skim a headline on their phone for 30 seconds and call it being informed, the Queen sat down every morning and read the actual news in full, every day, for 70 years. Number 7. She met with her private secretary every morning. At number 7, every single morning, without exception, the Queen held a formal meeting with her private secretary. This was not a casual chat. This was a structured, focused briefing on everything the Queen needed to know and act on for that day. Government papers, official correspondence, upcoming engagements, state matters, all reviewed, discussed, and actioned. The famous red boxes, the iconic red leather dispatch boxes, filled with government documents, were delivered to the Queen every single day, including weekends, holidays, and even when she was on vacation at Balmoral. She was never off duty. Former private secretaries have spoken about how prepared and sharp she always was in these morning meetings. She had already read the papers, already formed opinions, already had questions ready. She came to every single meeting fully engaged and fully informed. For 70 years, every single day, that level of consistent dedication is almost impossible to comprehend. Number 6. She walked her corgis every day. Halfway through our countdown, at number 6, the Queen walked her corgis every single day. The Queen's love for Pembroke Welsh corgis is one of the most well-known facts in the world. She owned more than 30 corgis over the course of her lifetime, and no matter what was happening in the world, no matter how packed her schedule, how intense the political climate, or how demanding the day ahead, she always made time to walk her dogs. Every morning after breakfast and her newspaper routine, the Queen would take her corgis out onto the palace grounds for a walk. No cameras, no staff following closely, just the Queen and her dogs in the fresh morning air. Royal staff have described these walks as the moments when the Queen was most visibly herself, relaxed, happy, completely at ease, away from the formality and the protocol and the watching eyes of the world. Her dogs were not just pets. They were her daily dose of joy, her daily reminder that beneath the crown was a woman who simply loved her dogs. Number 5. She held audiences and investitures. At number 5, almost every single working day, the Queen carried out formal audiences and investiture ceremonies. Audiences were private meetings with world leaders, prime ministers, ambassadors, and dignitaries. Investitures were the ceremonies where she personally presented honors, MBEs, CBEs, knighthoods, to people who had made exceptional contributions to British society. These were not quick events. Investitures alone could last up to 90 minutes, with the Queen standing, for the entire duration, personally pinning medals and speaking individually to every single recipient. Over the course of her 70-year reign, Queen Elizabeth II held over 600 investitures and met with an estimated 3 million people in formal audiences. Every one of those people received her complete attention, her full presence, her genuine interest. She reportedly prepared for every audience by reading detailed background notes on each person she would meet, so she could ask informed, personal questions. She never made anyone feel like just another name on a list. Number 4. She had afternoon tea at precisely 5 p.m. At number 4, every single afternoon at precisely 5 p.m., the Queen sat down for afternoon tea. Not 4:55, not 5:10. 5 o'clock, every day, like a royal alarm clock had gone off inside the palace walls. The afternoon tea ritual was sacred to the Queen. Earl Grey tea, always Earl Grey, served in fine bone china, a selection of small sandwiches, cucumber, smoked salmon, egg and cress, a scone with clotted cream and jam, and always a biscuit or two for the corgis waiting patiently at her feet. This daily ritual was more than just tea. It was a moment of peace, carved deliberately into one of the most demanding schedules in the world. A pause, a breath, a moment of pure Britishness in the middle of a day packed with global responsibility. Former royal staff have said you could practically set your watch by it. The moment the clock approached 5, everything in the Queen's schedule shifted to make room for tea. Non-negotiable, immovable, sacred. Number 3, she did her own makeup every single day. At number 3, and this one genuinely surprises most people, the Queen did her own makeup every single day. Yes, you read that correctly. The Queen of England, the head of the Commonwealth, the most photographed woman in history, did her own makeup every single day. Despite having an entire household of staff at her disposal, the Queen reportedly preferred to do her own makeup herself. She had been doing it since she was a young woman, and she saw absolutely no reason to change. It gave her a sense of control and privacy in a life that was almost entirely public. Her makeup routine was famously consistent, a classic, refined look that barely changed across decades. A soft pink lip, subtle powder, a light flush of color, always immaculate, always appropriate, always unmistakably her. There is something deeply human and quietly powerful about that. A woman who could have had anything done for her, choosing to do this one thing herself, every single morning, for her entire adult life. Number 2. She watched the evening news at 6 p.m. At number 2, every single evening, the Queen watched the BBC 6 o'clock news. After a full day of audiences, investitures, correspondence, and official duties, the Queen sat down at 6 o'clock and watched the news. Not occasionally, not when she had time. Every single evening. This was her way of closing the loop on the day. She had started the morning reading the newspapers, been briefed throughout the day by her private secretary, and now she ended the working portion of her day by watching the evening news summary. She was reportedly a very engaged viewer, not passive background watching, but active, attentive viewing. She would comment, question, and react to what she saw. And here is what makes this habit extraordinary. The Queen appeared on the news more than almost any other person in the world. Events she had attended, speeches she had given, ceremonies she had presided over, all appeared regularly in the very bulletins she was watching every evening. She was both the subject of the news and its most faithful daily viewer for 70 unbroken years. Number 1. She signed official documents every single day. And finally, at number 1, the single daily habit that above all others defined Queen Elizabeth II's extraordinary 7-decade reign. Every single day, without exception, without pause, without a single day off, the Queen signed official documents, letters patent, royal warrants, parliamentary acts, state papers, official correspondence from governments across the Commonwealth. Every day, mountains of paperwork, all requiring her personal signature, Elizabeth R., written in her distinctive, practiced hand. It is estimated that over the course of her 70-year reign, Queen Elizabeth II signed well over 3 million official documents. 3 million. The sheer physical volume of that is staggering, let alone the weight of responsibility each signature carried. Even on Christmas Day, even on her birthday, even when she was unwell, the red boxes arrived, the documents were reviewed, the signature was applied, because she understood, more deeply than perhaps anyone in history, that the business of a nation does not pause. And neither could she. This was not a burden she carried reluctantly. By all accounts, she took this responsibility with complete seriousness and genuine pride. Every signature was a reminder of her purpose, her duty, her promise, made at 25 years old at her coronation, to serve her people for her entire life. And she kept that promise. Every single day, for 70 years, outraw. And there you have it, the top 10 things Queen Elizabeth did every single day, from her precise 8:30 a.m. wake-up all the way to the millions of documents she signed with unwavering dedication throughout her reign. What strikes me most about this list is not the grandeur of it, it is the consistency, the discipline, the absolute refusal to have an off day when an entire nation and Commonwealth was depending on her. Most of us struggle to keep one good habit going for a week. Queen Elizabeth II kept 10 of them going every single day for 70 years. That is not just dedication, that is a masterclass in purpose-driven living. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. Which of these daily habits surprised you the most? I read every single one. Until next time, stay consistent, stay purposeful, and remember, even the Queen started her day with a bowl of cereal. See you in the next one.